let's talk about how this past week has gone. Now, this was a good week. All things aside, this was a good week. And I do have something to tell you. I will start with this though. I have been reading Atomic Habits, and you'll hear me talk about this for a while because this is something that I'm actively doing. So I'm at chapter 11. So I've been reading. My goal is a chapter a day. If I go over, that's great, but no less than that. And then something else I ordered and I received this week is the workbook. And this has 307 pages. And it's just to go along with this. So before I even start this, I want to read this to completion. I want to read Atomic Habits to completion again. Third time's a charm. And then I'll start working on the workbook. But something else that I realized with reading this is that I was overcomplicating things. So the two things that I'm tracking for this week, or not just this week, but the two habits that I'm tracking, walking for 30 minutes a day and reading a chapter a day. I'm at this point now where I don't want to do less than 30 minutes. So if I end up having to break it up, I'm totally fine with doing that. But so far I haven't had to. And today I got it knocked out early. So I was proud of myself for that because I feel like when I get things done early in the day, and I don't mean early like 4 a.m. early, I'm just saying not waiting until late at night, I feel better. It's like I'm starting off the day with a win. So when I wake up in the morning, after I run to the restroom, I turn on my light and then I start reading. And I've already started my day accomplishing something. And it makes a difference. It sets the tone for the day. That's what it's been doing for me. I listed 4 things that I was going to work on. And for some reason, that overwhelmed me. So I just kept it at 2. And so that is the walking and the reading. And once I finish this book, then I'll move on to another book. So this is something that's going to be ongoing. It's not just about Atomic Habits. My goal is to be a reader, a regular reader. And something that was important that I picked up this time is instead of setting these goals, what is the type of person you want to become? At least this is what I'm taking from it, right? This is my interpretation. I want to be a reader. So what does that entail? Reading. I care about my health. I know that walking is a great form of movement. So I want to be someone who does that regularly, not I'm doing it for any particular reason other than for my health. So I'm not walking to lose weight. I'm not walking to train for something. I'm walking because I know that it's a good form of movement. And what I've been doing is 30 minutes. I just want to do this for at least 30 days before I even consider doing something else or adding something else. And I'm not ready for habit stacking because I don't feel like I'm still in a place where my habits are solid and in place. And instead of me trying to track all these different things, I'm just doing the walking and the reading for now. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I have been tracking my meals. I don't always post the macros and the calories, but I have been keeping track of that. And once I feel like, okay, I'm golden, then I won't do that anymore. But that is just for me to have data. Because how can I say that, yeah, I've been eating enough, I've been getting enough protein if I'm not tracking it? So that's why I'm doing that. I've been doing push ups and planks. I haven't been doing any structured strength training program or anything like that. Really, I feel like I'm in this season where I'm just interested in calisthenics. And I don't want to even overcomplicate that. That is something I'm not looking for any programs. I'm keeping it simple. And so if you if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I have had a history of not being a consistent person. And that's a choice. That's a choice. As much as I want to try to blame everything else, anything else that I've really wanted to do in my life, when I put my mind to it, I can do it. And I've done it. So I know I can do this. I was for the first, let's see, up until June. So from February of 2024 until June, towards the end of June of 2025, I strength trained regularly. I was always doing a program. It didn't feel overwhelming. It wasn't anything where I had any aversion to doing it. So, of course, it was easy. I should have known when I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do that something was going on. I didn't have that time or take the time to process what is really going on. Yes, there were other things going on in my life, but that there was no reason to stop that other than I realized I just didn't want to do it. So that's okay too. We have to be okay with that, where I am going to be okay with that. There are a lot of things in the world that I can get stressed out about. This just doesn't seem like something that is worth it to me. All right. This is the 19th. Let me pull up my calendar just so I can tell you. For whatever reason, the VA did not send out my estradiol. So that's the estrogen patch I take twice a week or I put on twice a week. Tuesday, December 2nd was my last patch. And I didn't realize, like, I noticed I started feeling just blah. Now, this has nothing to do with, the weight training or anything like that. Just my mood. I was feeling blah. I found myself spending a lot of time sitting in the bed, other than like, okay, if I had to go do something, I would go do it and then I would come back and I would just be laying in my room watching TV, which I mean, that's okay, but I wasn't doing some of the other things that were necessary. And I just couldn't figure out, why is this so difficult? I found myself being a little more emotional. So I didn't realize what was going on. And then when I had an appointment with was it clinical pharmacist? I told her that, hey, my last estrogen patch was on Tuesday, it was December 2nd. And then I asked her, like, could that cause me to have a change in mood? And she was like, absolutely. So she got to the bottom of it. Like, I processed the refill, but they never sent it out. Well, it turns out because of one medication that I said I wanted to pick up, they put everything on hold. So it had just been sitting there. So anyway, I got that in the mail, not yesterday, but the day before. So today's Friday, Wednesday night, it came in and applied my patch on. I applied my patch and already I don't know, I feel different. So it's one of those things where you may not always notice what's going on. Are you okay? It's one of those things where you don't notice something until it's taken away, at least for me. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel better and more stable. Now, if it's a placebo and it doesn't really work that fast, I'll take it because I know that I feel a lot better. I had still been doing my little small dose of testosterone every day. Like, I didn't miss that, but man, this was a big deal. So this won't happen again. When I get to my last box, that's when I'll go ahead and put in my next refill because I don't want to go through this again. And I don't like that emotional roller coaster, being up and being down. I like to just be stable. Now, again, we're humans, we have emotions. So if something happens and that's different than just seemingly for no reason feeling like all over the place and a little overly emotional. So that's going well. So that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm reading. I'm going to read every day. I've been reading every day, and the workbook I'm going to handle differently. So this will be in addition to the reading, but after I'm done reading Atomic Habits. It's very easy to get all of these things, like you're getting books, taking courses, but if we don't apply them, then it's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. The fact that I've read this book twice already and found myself back in this predicament just goes to show that I needed to read it again. And this time I'm taking my time so that I can really work on myself. I'm going into 2026. I just turned 48 years old. Like, certain things are not going to change unless I change. And I know that even if I don't really feel like doing something from a lazy aspect, not just, I don't want to do it, just like, oh, no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do it. So that's something that I have been working on. My eating, still the same. You can check that out on Instagram if you're interested. I do post all of my meals. Every single thing I eat goes on there. And then I've kind of been lately thinking I'm just in the mood for coffee, so I'm going to have some. I don't want to stay being this person that's not doing things because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. If I drink some coffee and it doesn't agree with me, then I know, well, I'm not drinking that anymore. Do you know what I mean? But having this fear with, well, I don't want to do this because this might happen. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. Now, as far as cookie dough and stuff like that, I'm not interested in that because I know that the way that I responded to that before, I just that's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me to start eating those types of things and then having these strong cravings. I'm not ready for that. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to eat it. I'm saying that right now I have no intentions of eating like a lot like Oreos and a lot of those ultra processed foods. I don't have the desire to eat that. So if I want a snack, I'll make something. I make chickpea bars. Those are the types of things that I'm okay with eating those. And so far, I haven't gone over the top when I've made those, and I think they're pretty good. And I have a daughter that's not even a vegan, and she likes them, so they must be okay, right? This next week, my plan is to continue with the reading a chapter a day, walking daily for 30 minutes, and just making that my new normal. The goal is to do my walks earlier than I've been doing them. So, like today, I got it knocked out. So, for the rest of the day, I know that I've already accomplished two of the goals that I had set, and that just makes me feel good. So, now if I want to lounge around or do whatever, I don't have to worry about, like, oh my goodness, I need to do this. I'm fortunate, right? I have a walking pad. I get to, and it's cold outside. When I went out to drop my daughter off at work, I know I'm all over the place. When I dropped my daughter off at work this morning, I had looked at the temperature and it said 17 degrees, but it said feels like -6. No, absolutely not. I am not a cold weather or winter lover. So I am fortunate to be able to do this from the comfort of my own home. So I don't have any excuses. I'm not allowing myself to get into that where it's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do anything." No, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. I'm not beating myself up about the strength training because again, I'm doing, push-ups, planks, not sit-ups. I'm not a sit-up girl, but those are the things that I'm doing regularly. So I feel like when it comes to something for my muscles, I'm doing something. Am I gonna build muscle like this? No. Looking in the mirror, I am comfortable with what I see. So now it's just a matter of maintaining that and not falling into that trap of thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta do more. I gotta do more. Okay, I gotta top that. There's no need for that. Also, not succumbing to what everyone else is doing and feeling like, well, this is going on, so I got to be a part of this. I don't. I can watch other people and celebrate them and still do what's working for me. So it seems small, but small is better. This is not setting myself up for failure. Now, if I had done what I had planned earlier, on Sunday, putting all these different things on there, that's setting myself up for failure. So I'm in my crawling stage and I'm perfectly okay with that. And so my advice to you is keep it simple. Start off super small, right? Rome was not built in a day. Whatever our goals are, our desires are, that doesn't happen in a day. It takes time. And we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with taking that time. So that's where I am. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. And I want to know from you, what's your plan? Like, what have you been working on? What's working well for you? What's not working well? And that's another thing we need to be comfortable with. If something's not working well, let it go. Let it go. Do something different. My advice to you, one day at a time, one step at a time, keep it simple. Keep it super simple. I know that's not what all the rage is, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, you got to go hard." You got let's stop doing that because that doesn't really get us anywhere. And you may get to whatever it is that you were trying to reach, but then when you get there, in the past, historically, when you've gotten to whatever goal that was, did you keep it? Or did you revert back to previous habits? Because I know for me, that's what I did. And that's what it seemed like I was on my way to again. So I don't want to live like that anymore. And I don't want to feel like I used to feel. I am a person that I am choosing health and I'm choosing the slow, steady, sustainable route. That's what works for me. So that is all I have for you. Hopefully, I'll see you on Monday at 7 p.m. for the live stream. And until then, remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them.
Now
Bye.
she's close.